Hi, everybody. So today I am going to be having this kind of mini little episode before the episode with my dear friend, Tori Quisling, who's been on the podcast two other times. So this is the third time. And she's a clairvoyant and fertility hypnotherapist. She does RTT hypnosis, which is a lot stronger than typical hypnosis and really uncovering a lot of hidden beliefs or beliefs that are possibly stopping you, not just with fertility in life in general. And we are actually talking about something very exciting because Tori is going to be my very first coach that's going to be doing a group coaching session. And we're going to do a Zoom call in on Tuesday, October 29th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is all happening in our new membership called the Wholesome Fertility Collective. And I will be hosting my very own trained fertility coaches and people from all walks of life, other acupuncturists, so many different people. And I think that having this collective is so exciting. My very first guest is Tori, and I'm very excited. And we do have a sneak peek version, so you can kind of look into what the collective is if you have any questions, and then kind of get a feel for it. It's a little bit of my information on helping you to boost fertility, but it's also information that you're going to be getting in lots of goodies from our coaches and monthly fertility coaching sessions that are group coaching sessions at a very, very low price. So this is really meant to be affordable for so many people. You can find information in the episode notes. And today I'm going to be talking to Tori about how people on the fertility journey get into the baby zone, which is something that you call this kind of zone of when you feel called, there's a calling. Now, I don't want to say it for you because you're going to be the best person to say this, but I would love to introduce you, Tori. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Michelle, you're amazing. And I loved
Oh,
learning your fertility program too, to enhance mine. But I really commend you for creating this community, this collective, because that's what's needed. Women are doing this alone. It's quite lonely
mm-hmm.
place to be. And I'll describe the baby zone very soon. But that is a beautiful vision to bring this women together to support and be positive uh,
Mm-hmm.
as we move through this time before conception, especially. That is this confusing time. So when I was doing clairvoyant work almost for 40 years now, but earlier I would have a lot of women that would come in and say, I want to have a baby. And so I would look for the baby spirit. It's like, where is the baby spirit? And there every woman that said I'm have a yearning, there is always a baby spirit attached, and started to explore what was going on with these baby spirits. And they're always attached to women that have an opening, kind of like a taxi with the red light on, or the
Mm-hmm.
yellow light on, like I'm available. And so baby spirits are surrounding women that are saying they're available, they're interested, they want a baby. Sometimes we're not aware that we have the light on. And we
Wow.
get hit with like, whoa, I want a baby, either through a dream or just the idea. All of a sudden one morning you wake up and you say, I want to have a baby. And that's the first inkling, that's the first sign that you have a baby spirit around you. They start to show you little kids in the playground. They start to make you cry at random times when you see a baby. So having a baby spirit around is like a cupid. It's a bit mischievous and it's playful. We were all baby spirits around our moms.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby zone is this time where a woman actually says, yes, I want to have a baby. It's a conscious idea of
Mm-hmm.
conception. And thus starts this time of insecurity, disorientation, confusion. One minute you're just a woman going about your business, doing really well, achieving, finding everything. As long as you follow directions, you can make it happen. And then having this baby is not a left brain thing. It's not, how do I get it done like college or your
Right.
work? It is a creative side. And so bringing that harmony back between the left and right side of the brain, getting
Mm-hmm.
back to the creative and the curious and the imagination is really important. That's why women are very attracted to tell me about baby spirits.
Yeah.
The original reason for saying yes to this whole thing, IVF, IUI, natural, whatever, working hard to have a baby, started with this idea, this amazing connection. And so what I like to do is I have my book, Calling in Your Baby, which does describe this. But what I like to do and teach my clients is that they can find where the baby spirit is and communicate. Maybe they have several. Usually there's several. We go to a playground and they choose one or two that they're connecting with specifically. And I teach the women how to connect with their particular baby spirits and how to communicate with them, and it's empowering. And then they can be washing dishes and talk to the baby spirit and give the baby spirits something to do while we're waiting. And it's it's very empowering. So that's what I like to do. The baby zone is something you want to move through, which is this disorientation, this discomfort, this confusion, because you want to become the grounded mom as soon as possible. And so when you start speaking to the baby spirit as their mom, you take on that role already, so that when the baby is here, they are, you already know how to speak to them. You have your mother voice. I have some women, they go to the baby zone playground, we call it. And so many times they'll see their baby in the playground and talk to them, describe them, how they're dressed. And they'll write to me after the baby's born and maybe 2 years old. And they'll send me a picture. This is exactly what they look like in the playground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one woman had her little boy in the vision in a cowboy outfit. And she didn't even think about it. He kept reaching for cowboy outfits, and he was in
Mm-hmm.
the playground, and there it was. Hey, that's exactly what he looked like. So she thought that was amazing.
That is amazing.
Very empowering, as a way to connect with these baby spirits. And as for readings, I used to just read, oh, here's what they're saying, and here's who they
Mm-hmm.
are. But then the women I was working with would have to come back to me. Well, what do they say now? Well, this
Mm-hmm.
is your child.
Mm-hmm.
And so it even gives you confidence in the face of any medical diagnosis and things like that, medical procedures. You're like, no, my baby's there. I just talked to him this morning. And
Yeah. Well, I have to say, what you're saying is absolutely like right on. I have to say that I've had my own experience as an acupuncturist working with my patients. Whenever they are really open to connecting with their spirit babies, when they're open to the signs, the
yes,
second they invite, like intentionally invite the communication of their spirit baby,
yeah,
I can tell you some crazy stories that happen, and it was insane. I mean, it is way beyond just chance for
yeah,
this to happen. I mean, uh, people, names, sites, like crazy details, dates of birth, matching up to very specific, meaningful dates that they know about that were part of the signs that they were getting.
yeah.
So it is really beyond. And then what's crazy is for the first time, actually, this ever happened. One of my patients had a very specific name and a very specific symbol that she connected with her baby.
Uh-huh.
And it was just something that she like was very meaningful for her in the past. And after she told me that, I drive to my mom's house, I see the name and I see the symbol in my drive. And that was the first time that I myself got a sign for my patient. And
That
she's
is
pregnant right now.
that is fantastic.
And she struggled. When I'm saying she's
Yeah,
pregnant, I'm
yeah,
not saying she's just pregnant. She was going through fertility challenges
yeah.
when she was getting these signs, and when I was getting it, she was not pregnant at the time. Now she's pregnant.
Well, these baby spirits, as practitioners, you and I, oh, these baby spirits are bringing people to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes.
help them speak to us,
Yeah.
help them come back to center, because we get
Mm-hmm.
left brain into the medical, like
The numbers, the analytics, the not believing.
forgetting
The
the
doubt.
source of why we're doing this in the first place. And,
Hmm.
and that's what's going to guide you best for your body and the balance and next steps and who to go to and what to do next. And
And I will say, I mean, there's a lot of evidence that shows really how powerful we are in our minds and when we believe in something.
absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, unexplained infertility is really just subconscious blocks and
Hmm.
clearing those. And a lot of physical illness is the subconscious mind, protecting you and
Hmm.
putting up roadblocks in your ovaries or something, and once we clear those and coordinating with acupuncture and everything, we can help a lot of physical issues too.
Yeah, and talk about that
Way.
because you are a hypnotherapist. So when you talk about blocks, you're
Yeah.
literally like you're talking about, and guys, she has like so many testimonials. If you go to her page, it's overwhelming. The testimonials that she has, Tori, is like it's incredible. So you've helped so many people
Yeah. Yeah.
with specific conditions
Yes.
through hypnotherapy, through really getting into those blocks. So you're not just kind of saying this. This is a legitimate, like something that you have experience doing.
Yeah. Well, once we access the subconscious mind, which is the same as intuition, since I had the Center for Clairvoyant and Psychic Development,
Yeah.
develop intuition, the subconscious mind, I believe now, is really related to your intuition. So it has
Hmm.
all the answers. So once
Yeah.
we access the subconscious mind through hypnosis and rapid transformational therapy, RTT,
Hmm.
it's just a deeper way to reframe and get to the root cause of some things if something
Yeah.
is really stuck.
Hmm.
Um, once you access the subconscious mind, then you have all the answers to anything. You can even ask the question,
Hmm.
um, what is the root cause and reason of this endometriosis?
Hmm.
And the body will go right back to the time that you heard your mom say how painful birth was.
Yeah.
That's what happened to my recent client, and she was 9 years old, and she overheard this, and
Yeah.
she, decided right there and then, well, I'm not going to ever do that. And the body took the signal and said, okay, we'll make sure it doesn't happen. And once you find out the root cause, you can solve it. And especially when it's through hypnosis, when the client is saying it and hearing themselves saying it,
Hmm. It's
then
like shedding a light.
versus a psychic reading it. Oh, it looks to me
Right.
like your mom. No, that doesn't work as well. So
Hmm.
that's why I switched and I do more subconscious work. Really, I don't recommend that women in the baby zone, this time
Hmm.
when you're trying to get pregnant and struggling, get any kind of readings, only because you're super vulnerable and suggestible. You're
Hmm.
raw. You're just why wait. You're like in such a transition, such
Yeah.
an emotional transitionary state. You're just like, whew. And so when you hear someone that you give authority to say anything, like a doctor, psychic, or something,
Hmm.
say anything,
Yeah. It's true.
you don't have your filter anymore because you're in such a big growth period. So it just goes right in.
Hmm.
I have a lot of clients that'll come to me and say, I saw a psychic 3 years ago, and she says I can't have a baby for the next 6 years.
Hmm. Oh
Or the
yeah.
just said that. And really that's where we have to deprogram that suggestion. That we can't
Yes, it's a
program.
suggestion. That's
Yeah, that's
100%.
all it is.
You know, it's interesting when you were talking about really connecting with this like intelligence and how the brain knows everything.
Yeah,
We actually, didn't, I think law enforcement, sometimes they'll put people or witnesses or people who have gone through something that blocked out
yeah,
a situation out of their conscious mind in order to like be able to cope.
yeah,
Sometimes if they're trying to gather information, they go into hypnosis. They get the subjects into hypnosis so that they're able to gather all of the information because your subconscious mind actually picks up on everything that happened, very specific details
yeah.
that you're not even conscious that you
That's
stored
right.
or perceived.
Yeah,
And you're able to actually access that even though you were never conscious of that happening, like the
yeah,
color of somebody's eyes, somebody who's really far away, like exactly what
yeah,
happened in the scene. So,
yeah,
what Tori's talking about, even in scientific or in more conventional systems, is being used for that precise reason, is that our subconscious mind picks up on everything. It's just that if we were conscious about everything our subconscious mind is focused on, we would have like ADD on steroids because
Yeah.
we'd be hyper aware of everything at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I guess it protects us in that way, but we're still the effect of what's
Yeah,
in the subconscious mind.
correct. Yeah.
When, in a conscious way through hypnotherapy, with a guided therapist, can go in consciously to the subconscious mind and do a little cleanup. We can
Hmm.
ask your mind one question at a time. Uh,
Hmm.
and usually I say it's the loose thread on the yarn ball. Like whatever is bothering you right now, let's pull that thread, and all these other symptoms and trick problems will come out with it. Um,
Hmm.
Usually what's top of mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will say, my weight is bothering me. Well, let's start with that, even though we're here for pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And a fun thing to do with weight, because with weight, we don't want to say, let's lose weight, but I want to get bigger, right? That's
Hmm.
conflicting. The mind doesn't like that. It just stops doing anything for you if you give it two conflicting things. So we say, we're going to redistribute this weight. We're going to
Hmm.
redistribute. How much extra weight do you think you have? 50 pounds, 40 pounds. Let's redistribute the weight to the baby making.
I love that. That's great.
So hypnosis is giving the body a specific instruction, asking it a specific question. In the meditation you were just describing, you're just kind of like sitting in a place of calm, and this thing popped up without eliciting it. And
Right.
then you had to ask, what are you? Right? Like going a little back.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what happens is that even though they're two completely different methods, they both access the subconscious mind to some level. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of like that similarity.
We
But
absolutely do.
you
Yeah.
want to get more specific, and it's kind of like therapeutic, where you're actually, it's almost like the acupuncture point versus Tai Chi. So, Tai Chi, you're moving the energy in the body. With an
Yeah.
acupuncture point, you're really honing in as a practitioner and
That's right.
therapeutically honing into that one spot,
Hmm.
through your own assessment of the pattern that the person has. And it's like a much faster, kind of like stronger
Yes. Yeah.
therapeutic.
Absolutely. Now, hypnosis, we get hypnotized every day by the TV.
Hmm.
We call it a program because the show we're watching isn't the program, it's the commercials. They're the programming us for those
Yeah.
products and that those things they want us to buy.
Sometimes the shows too.
Yeah, the shows incorporate those products and that
Yeah.
life for sure.
Yeah.
And so when we do hypnotherapy, especially for fertility, we're letting the body know, giving it the instructions that you want it to have, like, a
Yeah.
perfect womb lining, everything you want, perfect egg and embryo, everything
Hmm.
that you want the body to do next, giving it that program. Once you've moved the critical factor out of the way, conscious mind is out of the way,
Hmm.
and you just directly give it to the subconscious mind. And there's no effort because you can move someone into hypnosis within 2 minutes,
Hmm.
and you don't
That's
have to
amazing.
believe in it or even know what you're doing. You just you just go in.
Well, that's the cool thing about it. It's just that people are so used to putting effort, but it's something that can be done
Yeah.
fairly quickly.
People say, oh, I don't like meditating, it's too hard. Well, hypnosis isn't meditation in that way. You just sit there and I can distract your mind with what we call patter.
Hmm. Yeah.
The next thing you know, you're like, your eyes aren't staying open, and but you're always in control. No one, it's always self hypnosis ultimately. And
Yeah.
teach you how to do self hypnosis. So if you're in a procedure that's uncomfortable, I give you a really quick way to go right in.
That's
Um,
amazing. And I know that you're also contributing a really wonderful meditation for any participant.
yes, I recently became a mentor for HeartMath. Just
Hmm.
the heart, we know, gives all the signals to the brain. The brain just receives. So if you can calm your heart down, you can calm your mind down, and then it turns out that your hormones are created in your mind, in your brain.
Hmm. Yes.
So let's focus on the ones we want for pregnancy and
Yes.
turn down the ones we don't want. So that's what that activity is about, that lesson.
And the good news is if you are listening to this episode way after the time that Tori will be going live, all of the calls that we're having are going to be recorded. So over time, we're just going to accumulate coaches upon coaches and all the different perspectives. And this is what I love about the collective is that we have so many different talents from so many different backgrounds. Like Tori, before she took my program, was already amazing. So it's she just used it to accentuate her style and to understand it a little different and kind of like in a different way.
Yes.
But her work to begin with is such a talent. You've always been such a talent. So I think that that's the amazing thing is that this is why as a collective we're so much stronger is because we have all of these different talents come together, and then also all of these women coming together helping each other, and through community, and that structured and it's private and it's contained.
Yeah.
So having that safe space and safe place, but then also access to so many different minds that are all focused on helping you get pregnant is
Yes.
just incredible.
I want to point out because I've had some ideas and my own opinions about infertility groups like on
Hmm.
Facebook and TikTok and things like that. People just start to get too identified
Hmm.
with those groups when they're on the trying to conceive path
Hmm.
and start to identify too strongly with those things and then end up feeling abandoned when people get pregnant and they're not pregnant yet, and just feeling like they're taking on a role versus being able to leave it whenever they want. So we just
Hmm.
need this collective that you just created, which is so amazing, to just be able to be in a group of women, kind of like the red tent. Do you remember the
Hmm.
red tent?
Yep.
Where these women, it's called the red tent because they would menstruate in there and they would birth in there, and it was just for women,
Hmm.
all stages of fertility in that tent, supporting each other.
Hmm.
Nobody felt left out. Nobody felt isolated, ashamed, alone, jealous. It was just,
Hmm.
this is how women are supposed to be together. So,
And they actually impact each other's nervous system. You know, having that ability to connect, and we know that the nervous system we're finding out
yeah,
is incredibly instrumental in helping women conceive and really helping hormone harmony and
yes,
creating this kind of safe space that's vital and
yeah.
receptive to conception.
Yeah, the female reproductive system is very tuned in, as you know, to the heart, like you say, but to the brain, to our emotions.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's not about measuring your stick, and it's not
Yeah.
about how you're feeling, your emotions. People get pregnant any time of the month. But the idea that I just saw a picture of, probably in Vietnam, somewhere like that, of a grandmother. I don't know, it was just on my feed,
Hmm.
feeding a grandchild.
Hmm.
So because she could get her lactation going,
Wow, that's incredible.
the support of the women and just the belief, oh yeah,
Yes. Uh-huh.
on
100%.
deck, I need to help feed these children. Here we go. Back
Yes.
to lactation. The body
Love
knows
it.
what to do. And she looked like she was in her 70s. And, like anything is possible when women believe and support each other. And we don't have this medical world uh, programming, waking hypnosis, it's called, giving these terms to women, infertility for one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, this collective is a good start. It really is.
I think it's going to be great. It was so every so often I feel I get downloads, and it just hit me all at once, and I was like, and also with the collective, this is actually really what started it, was that I have my coaches that are training, and then I also have my women that I'm working with, or online or in person, and so I know that the women would love to have these kind of first dib access to some of the new emerging programs that the coaches are creating. And what the coaches are
Yes.
offering is like a really very unique opportunity to get these programs at a very low price, incredibly discounted price, for the feedback, for possible testimonials. That's usually because it's a brand new program, but the program has lots of amazing tools on how to get pregnant. And I know that the women would love that opportunity, and the coaches would love the opportunity to connect. So why not connect them and then make this kind of like mastermind of all the different parts that can work together at a very
Yeah.
affordable price? And I promise you, it is incredibly affordable. Like,
Yeah.
if you get 3 star or 2 Starbuckses, that's the price. That's about probably the price, maybe three. I don't know, depending on the type of Starbucks, per month.
They can get
So it's
expensive.
it's a it's a great deal. And then also, can't promise that it's always going to be this low. But if you get it in now, you're grandfathered in. You'll have it forever for that low price. So you'll see. You can find it, all the details in the episode notes. But it is an incredible thing. I think that it was just like a download, and I felt very pulled to do it. And I wanted to make it affordable
Yeah.
because I know that not everybody's able to do all of these programs, and you know the price that goes into IVF, and it's very expensive. The whole fertility journey is very expensive. So I wanted to make this available for everybody. And I
Yeah.
know that some of the programs are incredibly expensive, so it's important that everybody's able to, regardless of where they're at, to be able to have access to support. And I think that, just putting people together, there's just so much magic that happens in the collective, like when we come together,
Yes.
and it's just amazing. So I'm so excited for that. I'm really excited for you to be the first guest, Tori.
Yay! I'm so
Who, I've always loved your work. So I think that I'm very excited to have that, because it really is, you guys, she's very humble, but she has, helped so many people. Just go on her website and see how many people she's helped. Incredible work that you're doing. And really a lot of different tools, HeartMath, hypnotherapy, really getting to the subconscious mind, like real legitimate, tools that are super powerful. So you guys got to check it out, even if it is for at least this 1 month. Definitely, check it
yes.
out, because it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna. It's real interactive in this workshop we're gonna do, this little event. So you'll get come up
Awesome.
with a
Yeah.
lot of information and tools.
Awesome. So you guys, and you know what I love the most? I love the fact that you help women get into it, into the intuition on their own, and not have to rely on anybody else for it. Really to trust their own intuition, their own inner intelligence. Of course, have a team, but also be part of that. Be that starring role of your own team.
Yes, yeah. As a psychic teacher, intuitive teacher for almost 40 years, I find that it doesn't do anyone service for me just to tell them everything. It really
Hmm.
doesn't help. But they walk away knowing that they can see, and I'm there to validate, I'm there to guide and direct, um,
Yeah.
and listen for the intuitive words that they're saying and
Yeah.
point them out. Then they can start to do it themselves. And really becoming a mom means that your intuition, your female intuition, which is special to our female space, is coming alive. Babies can't talk for the first couple of years.
Hmm.
So we got to get our telepathy going. We got to
Yeah.
get all of our psychic abilities going, right?
Hmm.
Mom always knows
Absolutely.
what the baby needs.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
So thank you so much, Tori. This is great. I really wanted to have this conversation because I think that it's so exciting, and I'm excited for people to look into this and really get to have access to your wisdom. And I'm very excited for our call coming up.
Me too. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's get this collective going. I'm excited.
Yes,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle.